There we go. All right. Good morning. Welcome to the May 13th full board meeting. Nancy or Sarah, do you want to call the roll?
Sure. Joining us in the New York City office is Lisa Gomez, our board chair, Vice Chair Jerry Romsky, Secretary Beryl Snyder, also Liz Velez from the New York City, from the Buffalo office, Janice McKinney, and in Albany we have Joan Sullivan, Ken Evans, and Christina Coughlin. Absent from the meeting today are Adrian Swazerski and Al Carney.
Great. Thank you. First order of business are the April 15th tax day board meeting minutes. Could I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Thank you, Liz and Jerry. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Great, motion carried. We will go right into Jerry's and Janice's Finance Committee report. Would you take it away?
Yes, certainly. Thank you, Madam Chair. We met a few moments ago. We adopted the meeting minutes from the April term of the April meeting of finance. We moved on to the NYU refunding, and we all recommend that that be approved at today's board meeting. Unless anyone has any questions or concerns, I will turn it back over to you, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. That's a nice segue directly into tab 3, the NYU single approval financing resolution for refunding of NYU's bonds. That's being presented by Dave Ostrander along with Neil Kaplan of Hawkins Delafield and Patrick McGlashan of McGlashan Law Firm.
Thank you. Good morning. The board is being asked to adopt the necessary documents for financing in an amount not to exceed $500 million with a term not to exceed 20 years on behalf of New York University. Bond proceeds are expected to be used to refund all or a portion of the university's Series 2015A and Series 2016A bonds issued by DASNY. In addition, bond proceeds may also be used to refund certain callable maturities of the university's Series 2018A bonds, also issued by DASNY. The transactions being done for interest rate savings, assuming current market conditions, a total net present value savings in the range of $39.2 million or 7.26% of the refunded bonds is expected from the proposed refunding. The university is currently rated AA2 by Moody's and AA- by S&P, and it is anticipated that the bonds will be an unsecured general obligation of the university. At this point, I'll turn it over to our co-bond counsel, Neil and Patrick McGlashan, to provide an overview of the documents.
Thank you, Dave, and good morning, everyone. Before you for consideration is the adoption of 2 series resolutions. Each series resolution authorizes the issuance of a series of the authority's New York University revenue bonds pursuant to the general resolution, which was adopted by the authority on May 28, 2008. The proceeds of the bonds authorized will be loaned to the university pursuant to a loan agreement, which was approved and entered into by the authority and the university in 2008, and later amended to align certain of its provisions with current DASNY policy. The 2 series resolutions are identical to one another, except for the series designations, and authorize individually and in the aggregate the issuance of up to $500 million of bonds. The university has requested that the authority issue the bonds, which together with other available funds to be used to refund all or a portion of the authority's outstanding New York University revenue bonds, Series 2015A, 2016A, and certain maturities of the outstanding Series 2018, and to pay all or a portion of the cost of issuance of the bonds. The bonds are being issued to enable the university to realize debt service savings. It is currently expected that the authorized bonds will be sold by negotiated sale to a syndicate of underwriters, the lead manager of which will be JP Morgan Securities LLC. I now turn it over to my co-bond counsel, Neil Kaplan.
Thank you, Patrick. These authorized bonds, like all other bonds that had previously been issued under the general resolution, will be special obligations of the university. Special obligations of the authority, payable solely from and secured by payments made by and from funds and accounts held by the trustee under the general resolution. Payments in amounts and at times sufficient to pay debt service on its outstanding bonds. The university's obligation to make such payments is a general obligation of the university, and the bonds are not secured by any mortgage or pledge of university revenues or a debt service reserve fund. In 2020, the members of the authority approved amendments to both the general resolution and the loan agreement in each case to bring those respective documents more in line with current DASNY policy and more recent documentation of DASNY. Such amendments have been consented to by a majority of the bond owners, are now active and in effect. All of the bonds issued pursuant to the 2026 series resolutions under consideration today will be on a parity with each other and with all other bonds issued under the general resolution. Each series resolution authorizes the issuance of tax exempt or taxable bonds, although in this case, it's anticipated that only tax exempt bonds will be issued. The bonds will initially be issued in fixed rate mode, but will be subject to tender for purchase at any time that the bonds are subject to optional redemption. Tendered bonds are subject to conversion to other interest rate modes. This structure provides the university with the flexibility to address federal tax law or market changes over time. Each series resolution delegates to certain officers of the authority the power to determine the particular terms of that series of bonds and the authority to enter into certain agreements on behalf of the authority. And such delegations are described in detail in our bond counsel letter. That concludes our report, but we're happy to take any questions you may have.
Any questions from board members in Albany? Janice? Good. Anybody here in New York City with questions or thoughts? Okay. If no questions, could we have a motion to approve that which has been unanimously approved by the Finance Committee? Thank you, Beryl. We get a second. Thank you, Joan. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No. Any abstentions? No. Motion carries. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next up, we have the report of the president. I will turn it over to Mr. President.
Great. Well, thank you, Madam Chair. With respect to public finance activity, earlier this week, DASNY issued approximately $286 million in conjunction of tax exempt bonds in conjunction with the Columbia University sale. Those proceeds will be used to refund bonds and refinance commercial paper. That transaction proceeded well, and today we are in the market with our school district's pool financing. More to report in next month's report on that transaction as we work to complete that. Last month, I completed a number of SUNY campus visits, meeting with leadership for SUNY Broome, SUNY Binghamton, and SUNY Orange as part of our ongoing efforts to strengthen our relationships with our higher ed partners, including our community colleges. They were productive conversations with each discussing capital priorities and how DASNY can support that future projects with them. Particularly at SUNY Binghamton, we had a strong and constructive discussion about reestablishing our partnership and opportunities to work together, including in their current program. With respect to the Unplugged and Play initiative, we, at the request of the governor and the governor's communication team, issued a release highlighting our continued success delivering that program on behalf of the governor, delivering more than $350 million to communities through New York Swims and New York Bricks, and joining state and local leaders in Albany to highlight not only the program, but the specific grant for Albany Jewish Community Center. They've received a $5.5 million award in New York Bricks and in New York Swims funding to support their expansion of their facility, which include upgrades to both indoor and outdoor pool infrastructure. With respect to other groundbreakings and community investments, I want to recognize The team attended a groundbreaking in Schenectady of a new supportive housing development that's led by OMH. DASNY will be providing financing support for the project with initial capital funding during construction to be replaced by a permanent bond mortgage through DASNY and funded through OMH. That facility is expected to open first quarter 2027. Thanks to Sarah for going to Ogdensburg to represent DASNY at the groundbreaking of a $3.1 million pool renovation that's supported through the New York Swims program. And this project will deliver a new facility expected to open next summer. So in the interim, the residents will have access to a new splash pad that's scheduled to open next month. And then the following day, I joined Speaker Heastie and Senator Bailey in the Bronx to mark the start of construction at Hampton Park Pool, which is a $13 million project supported by a $5 million New York Swims grant to enhance the recreational infrastructure and access to the pool residents in the Bronx.
Is it a Parks project?
It is a parks project. With respect to other grant programs, as of May 4th, the application period for the New York Plays program is now open and will run through June 15th. This is, of course, a competitive program that provides capital funding to help municipalities and not-for-profit organizations build and expand or renovate public playgrounds to provide more access for New Yorkers. This is the third leg of the Unplugged and Play initiative. Thank you to Portia for accompanying me to Buffalo, where we met with the leadership of Fox Run and saw the work that they are doing at that CCRC, that continuing care retirement community. We saw how that investment is going to be applied. They've already begun to do the work. It represents a significant expansion for them and ability to serve more New Yorkers who are currently on their waiting list. So it was great to not only see the work that's happening, but get their feedback, considering they are the first CCRC that we've financed, and in particular, how they're going to utilize that investment and the strength of that community.
What was their feedback?
Oh, well. I think they were looking at a number of alternatives but in terms of a potential IDA being the financing vehicle, I think they found our staff and our ability to navigate some of the regulatory components amongst either DFS or DOH to be very helpful to navigating and speeding up that process. They were very happy with the time to market and really will now be extraordinary validators amongst the leading age community about how easy we are to work with and how well we performed for them. So it's always good to go and get good feedback, but really I think it was a significant transaction for opening up a whole new kind of group of issuers that may not look at us first, and hopefully will now do so. And then in Buffalo, we also met with Roswell, the cancer center, that we completed the $175 million transaction. This will enhance cancer care services and refinance existing debt, but also allow for an expansion into of their existing community wellness center and community facilities. So exciting in many respects and very important institution in terms of cancer research and cancer care in Western New York. Additional items of note, leadership updates. We want to certainly highlight several important leadership updates. In April, we announced the promotion of Carrie Torres to Chief Diversity Officer. And in this role, Carrie will lead our enterprise-wide diversity, equity, and inclusion strategy, working collaboratively across the organization to expand opportunity, to strengthen our programs, and ensure that the work reflects the diverse communities that we serve. And this is building on the work that she previously performed as the director of the Opportunities Programs Group, and the work that we'll continue to see in terms of our mentor protege program. But as a result of that move, we are also pleased to share that Justin McLaughlin-Williams we promoted to the director of the Opportunity Programs Group, and Justin will build on that foundation and under Carrie's leadership and continue to advance DASNY's commitment to supporting small and diverse businesses. So some changes there. And then finally, we would like to certainly take a moment to recognize Steve Curl, our Managing Director of Construction, who will be retiring at the end of this month after more than 23 years of exceptional service to DASNY. Steve truly has been instrumental in leading some of the most complex and high impact projects in our organization's history. And his technical expertise, commitment to excellence, and deep understanding of our mission have shaped the standard of quality and integrity that really defines our work today. So he is certainly one of the hardest working people that we know here at DASNY. And we thank him for his many contributions and wish him the best in retirement. So the rest of the information is for the members for knowledge. We have a number of employee engagement activities, certainly around Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month this month, as well as highlighting much of the work that we're doing in terms of sustainability around our lab. And we have an event coming on this afternoon. Thank you for our board members for participating in that, in our Women in Construction series. And there are some corporate challenges that are happening on May 21st in Albany, and May 28th, in New York City. So the rest of the information, including the grant, seeker, and media report information, is for board member consideration and knowledge. That concludes my report, and I turn it over to the chair.
Great. Well, I want to just echo what you said, Robert, in terms of Steve's importance and the contributions that Steve has made to the organization, and really to the benefit of all of the higher ed, healthcare, supportive housing, and other things that we do, swims and blocks and things like this. Is, it's a tough job. It's a big job. It spans across the state, and it's a big team to lead. And I think we are so grateful to Steve for his work. I have a resolution. Let me ask if anybody else wants to.
If I can, Madam Chair.
Oh, please, Mr.
Say a
Vice
few
Chair.
words. It's
Yes.
been a long time since I've known Steve. I met Steve early on in my tenure here, which is now like 15 years, believe it or not. Goes back a long way, Steve. And I think we first really met and chatted early on when former board member John Johnson actually had us up in Clayton, and we spent a couple of hours together. And I knew from that moment that DASNY Construction, which I knew from my prior experiences, was really the gold standard in public construction. I'm sure Liz would agree with me. Was in great hands, and I understood why it was looked upon so favorably, and that was really a testament to you, Steve. I had a couple of sort of emotions, right? One, I was sort of jealous from my own perspective that I'm still, plugging away, taking the ferry out here from Rockaway. But I was happy for Steve, obviously. But I was sort of like, sort of sad for the organization, because he has been out here and such a leader, not only in DASNY world, but in public construction. That we're certainly going to miss you greatly, and it's going to be very difficult shoes to fill. And I know, Steve, that you will miss my constant discussions with you about my own problems with construction projects. I know Steve is still about the pool leak out in the Y in Rockaway that continued for about 3 years or so, and some other issues. But I promise you, Steve, that I will continually call you, even though you're not working, to discuss my own problems with our own projects. But you oversaw many important projects. But me personally, I think, because I use it quite frequently, is Moynihan Station, where Amtrak was. And that was really, folks don't remember that, but that was a remarkably challenging project that DASNY oversaw. And I think it's really right up there at one of the top projects. I can go on and on and on, but I won't. As my kids tell me, sometimes I ramble on sometimes, but I'll try not to here. But I will see you up in Saratoga, I hope. and I will certainly continue to share our great love for NCAA football, and we invite our chair to join our little club there, Madam Chair. About, Steve's kids went to Georgia Tech and also to Clemson. Now, Clemson is not really, one of mine went to South Carolina, so we're not real. We have our little differences on that. But anyway, so I think I join everyone in wishing Steve the absolute best of luck. And like I said, I will still harass you about my own problems. So thank you very much, Steve. Thank you.
Well, just very briefly, I had the benefit of working with Steve, both as a contractor on one side, and then certainly now as a board member. And Steve, I just want to salute you for your leadership style. You have transcended DASNY, right? And you have, I think, made this industry stronger and better by the processes that you put in, the faith that you put in your people, your ability to manage and communicate. You've really changed the industry more broadly for the better. And so I agree with you. Big shoes to fill. Good luck to a much deserved retirement.
Thanks. Honestly, you're all far too generous. There's 300 behind me that do all the work. I just watch them, frankly.
Well, we know that's not true.
Like
The
to
team is
say
only
a
as
few-
good as.
I'd like to say a few words, if I might, Chair. So I came here in December of 22. That's when I met Steve Curro and all the managing directors. And Steve has grown on me, and I really have come to enjoy both his company and respect his professionalism. But I want to read something to you that he wrote. And it really, I thought, epitomizes how Steve approaches his job and approaches this organization and how much it means to him. So he wrote this to the construction division in 2022 at Thanksgiving. Wanted to take a quick moment and wish you and your families a very happy Thanksgiving. I've said it before, but it bears repeating. We have a lot to be thankful for from a career standpoint. From the customer agencies who continue to seek our expertise to the end users who benefit from our work, from the relationships and friendships we have built at DASNY, to the security of knowing we have an employer that provides for us through good times and bad, from the satisfaction of knowing our work is both important and valued, to the fulfillment of knowing in many cases we are helping those who are most in need. I so much enjoy coming to work every day. This ride has been a blessing for me, engaged with the largest projects in New York City, New York State, working with the top consultants and contractors in the United States, and collaborating with a group of talented professionals here at DASNY, second to none. Who else could engineer from a small-time city on the Hudson ask for? What else could an engineer from a small-time city on the Hudson ask for? So much to be thankful for, and I certainly am. As you gather on Thursday for your annual Thanksgiving dinner, know that each of you are in my thoughts regularly. That is true about this man. Know that I value our time together at our offices and project sites and appreciate the work you deliver daily, the hours you put in, the transactions you process. Know there is no place I'd rather work than here at DASNY. And know that the survival of DASNY's construction division and striving to be New York State's premier public builder are behind every decision I make, every change I propose, and every sacrifice I ask of you. It goes on, but I think that epitomizes Steve's approach, and all those things are true about it. You've been a tremendous and valued colleague here for us. So thanks, Steve.
Thank you.
Okay, well, now we have an official resolution on this occasion of your retirement, Steve. So I will read this resolution. Or are you reading it? Am I reading it?
You are reading it,
I'm
Madam
reading it. Okay, all right. Put my glasses on to read it. Whereas Steve D. Curro joined DASNY on April 9th, 2001 as Director of Quality Assurance in the Construction Division, and whereas in his almost 25 years of distinguished service, Mr. Curro has upheld the highest standards of integrity, stewardship, professionalism while holding 4 positions, each with increasing responsibility, including Director Technical Services, Director Construction Support Services, and subsequently as Managing Director of Construction on January 11, 2008. Whereas throughout his tenure at DASNY, Mr. Curro has been a trusted advisor to DASNY's board, executive leadership, and team members, while being an invaluable resource to DASNY's customer agencies and stakeholders. And Whereas Mr. Curro has fostered strong and valuable relationships with customer agencies and stakeholders, and these entities have depended on his depth of knowledge and sage advice to help deliver initiatives to best serve the citizens of the state of New York. And whereas under Mr. Curro's guidance and leadership, DASNY has designed, constructed, renovated, and delivered over 4,000 full-service higher ed, healthcare, and other public projects across New York State to serve current and future generations, including the decontamination, deconstruction, and subsequent reconstruction of Fiderman Hall at Borough of Manhattan Community College, which was irreparably damaged in the 9/11 terrorist attacks, the CUNY Advanced Science and Research Center project, the OMH's Mid-Hudson Forensic Psychiatric Center project, SUNY New Paltz Mohonk Hall renovation project, OMH's South Beach Psychiatric Center, and many other academic and residential facilities through the CUNY and SUNY systems. And whereas Mr. Curro has been instrumental in advancing the New York State Life Sciences Public Health Laboratory Project, which will be the state's largest social infrastructure project, DASNY's largest project in its history, and the first public works project to utilize a progressive design build delivery method. And whereas the aggregate value of all projects delivered during Mr. Curro's tenure exceeds 14.6 billion. That's a number, Steve. And whereas during the COVID-19 pandemic, Mr. Curro demonstrated exemplary leadership defined by steady direction, genuine compassion, as you heard from Charlie's recitation of his communique to his staff, for DASNY's workforce, an unwavering commitment to keeping customer agency projects moving safely and responsibly, and whereas as a zealous advocate of public construction for customer agencies in a cost-effective and timely manner, Mr. Curro provided invaluable input and key guidance on alternative delivery legislation, positioning DASNY to better serve its customer agency stakeholders in the state of New York. Now, therefore, be it resolved that DASNY's board pauses to reflect and appreciate the dedication, commitment, leadership, integrity, and management skills Mr. Curro has brought to DASNY during his tenure, and be it further resolved that the board of directors offers its sincerest thanks and best wishes for success to Mr. Curro in his future endeavors.
Here, here.
So with that, may I have a motion to approve this beautifully crafted resolution? Okay, we got
Pleasure.
Jerry and Beryl, all in favor? Aye.
It
Two
is
hands
Steve
up for
Curro Day.
Steve Curro Day.
That's right.
Okay, I know there are no abstentions or nays. So Steve, thank you so much. Another big hand for him.
Just to show up for the ribbon cutting at the healthcare facility.
Yes.
Because that was all.
He doesn't have to do anything else. Okay, Steve, we wish you all the best. Do you want to say anything?
Sorry, the board meeting's taking longer than it should.
It's pretty efficient.
It's a light day. The floor is yours.
Really, very, very blessed to have this opportunity. But it is really the staff that, behind me that, we've grown together that should be highlighted here. It's been a great ride. I really, I was an engineer for a small consulting firm. Our biggest project might have been 3 million. Was really excited about that. Came to DASNY and we don't even talk about the $3 million projects. So, although they're all important, but it's been great. It's been a great 25, 26 years, whatever it's been. And, hoping the construction division continues and does the great things and the great work for the less fortunate than us in the future. So thanks, everyone. I appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you. All right. enjoy your next chapter. Okay, so in furtherance of Steve Curro Day, we now have the public finance report.
Back to regular
Back to
business.
regular business.
Included in the members' materials are the standard public finance reports. I would just like to follow up briefly on Robert's remarks, the trip to Buffalo. I will say that, as staff, we are always focused on each of the transactions. They're all different. Obviously, we want to provide good customer service. But one of the things that Robert has really been focused on is making sure that we go out and we see the clients and we see the projects. And I just want to say how impactful that is, because at the end of the day, it really deepens our knowledge and it really deepens our relationships. And, that really comes through in each of these visits that we do. So I think, it's great for the clients to see us, but it's great for us to see the clients. So thank you for that. I have a brief market update, but before I do that, I would like to turn it over to Matt Bergen to give an update on NYU Langone and their commercial paper program. No board action is needed, but I would like to turn it over to Matt.
Thank you and good morning, everyone. I wanted to provide an update with regard to the NYU Langone Hospital's commercial paper program that was approved by the members at the February 11th, 2026 board meeting. We're providing the updated transaction report for your information, and this is being done in order to facilitate the tracking of project costs with the Department of Health. NYU Langone Hospitals has provided revised costs for the project components as described in the transaction report update, as well as in the Department of Health recommendation memo. These new costs total approximately $590 million, which descriptions were included in the eligible projects that may be financed with commercial paper notes. Other than the revised cost of these project components, there are no other changes to the commercial paper program approved by the board on February 11th, 2026. The authorization for the issuance of multiple series of tax-exempt commercial paper notes in an amount not to exceed $750 million outstanding at any one time remains unchanged. No further board action is needed, and this is simply an update. Thank you.
Questions for Matt? Anything else, Portia?
Okay, so just very, very brief market update. Total year-to-date new issuance volume for 2026 is approximately 205 billion, up slightly from last year's comparable volume of 195.7 billion. This week, primary new issuance is anticipated to total about 13.5 billion. As Robert had noted, we are in the market today with the school district's pool. Municipal bond funds saw inflows last week, as well as inflows the previous week. Yesterday, AAA MMD yields closed higher, with the 10-year yield increasing by 3 basis points to 2.53%, 30-year increased by 4 basis points to 4.35%, and U.S. government bond yields were higher, with the 10-year Treasury increasing by 4 basis points to 4.46, 30-year increasing by 5 basis points to 5.03.
Getting closer to that 4.5 on the 10-year.
Since the April 15th DASNY board meeting, the 1-year MMD has increased by 25 basis points, the 10-year increased by 6, 30-year increased by 4. During that same time period, the 10-year Treasury yield increased by 20 basis points, 30-year increased by 16 basis points. I would note that also included in the members' materials are the final bond sale summaries for the year, which include performance metrics. That's a bond sale summary for Pitt and the new school. You will see all the bond sale summaries together with all the final information when we present the annual bond sale report to you. And that concludes my report. Thank you very much.
Can I just ask you, it would seem to me that municipal bond stability has at least kept up with treasuries. Yep. And if anything, it's a little bit more as stable or better than treasuries. So it's a trend that I hope continues, because I think it makes everyone's job here easier. So good job.
Agreed.
Good job, state of New York.
Thank you, Beryl.
Can they hear you?
You are, Al.
Yeah.
Hi, Al.
Hey, Al. They said hey. Hello,
Yes, we
Oh.
see.
it's Al Carney. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Can you hear us?
Outstanding. I have been trying to get on this call for the last half hour with no luck. My wife actually came in and with her computer and got me on the call. There isn't very much I want to say. I mean, I want to go on with the meeting, of course, but I wanted to thank Steve Curo. I've learned more about public.
You missed your chance, Al.
Hello?
You
Hello?
moved on from that part of the meeting, yeah.
I know, but you got to come back because I'm asking you to. It's been a pleasure to learn about public construction from Steve Curo. I don't know anything about construction, private or public, but Steve taught me more than he knows he did. And it's been a pleasure to learn it. It's been a pleasure to ask him questions. His meeting presentations have been extraordinary in some cases, certainly always formidable. He draws conclusions that allow you to understand with clarity what it is he's doing. What you don't know is how difficult it may be for him to do those things. And I have been the beneficiary of his teaching. The only other thing I want to say is that we've not had a lot of time to talk about what he does. I listen to his presentations and I marvel at his presentation. They are extraordinary. They're massive. They allow the listener to understand clearly what he is doing without knowing how he's done it. And I have just been overwhelmed in some cases by that. Steve, I wish you all the luck in the world. I know we're past your point in the meeting, and I don't care. You got to deal with me now. It is what it is. But your expertise is an expertise I didn't know about before I came to DASNY. And you've taught me more about that than I ever expected, and I've very much appreciated it. Thank you very much, my friend. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Al. Appreciate it. The relationship with you has meant the world.
Well, you're kind. I'm sorry that I couldn't get in to the meeting when there was, a mass hug. Everybody was hugging. But I'll miss you, and I'm sure DASNY will as well. Thank you, son. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, feelings mutual.
I'm done. I know I broke into somebody's presentation. I apologize. It is what it is, and it's too late now for me to back off.
No worries, Al, but you probably raised the bar or put some pressure on Steve because he has one more report left to deliver.
I know, and I can't wait to hear it. I was going to say that, but it sounded threatening, and I didn't want to sound threatening.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see if Kim has a threatening report. Kim, do you want a financial report, which will hopefully not be threatening, will be formative.
It will be very short. Thank you, Madam Chair. The monthly financial report included in the materials represents preliminary results for the fiscal year ending March 2026, as staff is still booking entries to allocate expenses and book accruals. Personal expenses are 2.8 million ahead of projection, and non-personal expenses are 1.2 million under projection. And as previously mentioned, it's anticipated that some of those costs will be allocated to reserves. On the revenue financing side, we closed 14 private debt issuances this fiscal year, generating total fees of $2 million, up from the projected amount of 1.65 million due to additional healthcare deals closing during the year. More detailed information on financial results for the fiscal year will be provided in connection with the audited financial statements, which will be presented at the July meeting. Brief update on audit progress. Staff is working again diligently to meet all the deadlines for the financial statement audit. KPMG will once again be using the assistance of internal audit for portions of the work, as provided in their audit plan and engagement letter. In addition, they will be partnering with 2 MWBE firms, Vallis Vendiola and Long Island Financial Management Services. We begin our weekly status update meetings actually later this afternoon to ensure we stay on target for issuing the financial statements. And unless there's any questions, that concludes my report.
How's that?
Kim, tell me who's helping you this year, the other audit firm that KPMG will employ?
Vallis Vendiola and Long Island Financial Management. It's the same firms they've used for the past couple of years.
Okay. And have you been satisfied, frankly? I mean, I just want to know, it's a worthless question, but are they helping KPMG to do a good job?
They are. KPMG had struggled to get resources from the 2 firms to increase the MWBE percentages. They have outlined a plan to increase those numbers again this year. Last year, we were up a bit, but we still weren't where we wanted to be. So they have rearranged their plan. They're using less KPMG staff and will be using more of the 2 firm staff to the extent that they have staff available.
And to what extent do you actually have direct interface with the other 2 firms?
My staff has direct interface with them. I don't
Okay.
too much. My staff does.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
How is that new financial software system working well? I'm sure.
We are moving along. Our goal marker is we're able to make it good. We're still working through, as you can imagine, just little tweaks to the system, working out any minor issues, but we have been paying folks on time, payroll included. So staff is still getting used to some of the differences in the system. On the payment side, staff actually are plugging away and they're actually producing a lot more. And we're moving on. Yeah, it's going well as it can go. Don't want to jinx it.
And I will say that this process is expertly managed by Kim, IT folks. It's fraught with complexity and potential for error, and it's gone as smoothly as it can go. It's a great job by Kim, Chad, her folks on her staff, and the folks in our IT division.
It is definitely the staff that have been great in this process.
Any
Kim,
further questions?
it's Al again. It's Al again. Do you, if you had the opportunity to employ as many staff as possible, as many staff as you wanted, would the number be what it is now?
I think so. I think we're fully staffed.
Okay, fair enough.
No, I do. I really do. Sometimes it's just
No, I believe you, and it was a great answer and quick too. Thank you.
just a matter of getting people in the right places. But no, I think we are. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, any further for Kim? All right, without further ado, final construction projects report on Steve Curro Day will be presented by Steve Curro himself. Steve?
I hate to disappoint. Okay, so let me start with projects new to the portfolio since the last meeting. We have 4 new projects, 2 with CUNY, 1 with Oasis and 1 with OMH, totaling $37.2 million. We completed 3 projects since the last reporting period, 2 CUNY projects, 1 at the College of Staten Island, 1 at Hunter, and 1 OMH project at the Western New York Psych Center. Those 3 projects totaled $10.3 million. Expenditures, so we're off to a new fiscal year. Expenditures for April of 2025 were $107 million. And for this past April 2026, we were at $124 million. That's an increase of $17 million. So expenditures continue to trend upward. A couple of project updates. We'll start with SUNY. The Binghamton dorm is progressing nicely. We're out of the ground at this point. Masonry walls and precast concrete plank construction is well underway. We are targeting the 2027 fall semester for project completion. Portland, the new 200-bed design build project was awarded earlier this year. We are moving forward with Huber Brewer. They're our design builder. They have sent out documents to modular companies as we look to take advantage of modular construction for that project. That's targeted for May 28th. The SUNY summer projects will begin on Monday, this coming Monday, as the kids are abandoning their dorms. We have a number of projects across the state that we'll need to complete before the fall semester starts. On the CUNY front, we met with the Vice Chancellor last Thursday, May 7th. The discussions included our forecast expenditures for fiscal year 26-27. We focused on some of the variances between DASNY and CUNY with respect to maybe the top 10 or 20 projects and why those variances exist. We also had a discussion about budgeting for CUNY community colleges, and those discussions continue. In the meantime, there's plenty of CUNY work, robust portfolios at Baruch, Queens, Hunter, Lehman, York, CSI, New York City Tech, and of course, City College. On to OPW and OMH. Long backlog of projects continues with OMH across the state, including St. Lawrence, Mid-Hudson, Capital District, Rochester, Central New York, Rockland PC, South Beach, Kingsborough, Pilgrim PC, Mohawk Valley, and a number of others. I'll jump to the DOH Life Sciences project. We're well out of the ground at this point. Most of the foundation work is complete. Structural steel erection is well underway. We're up 5 stories on the 5-story building on one section of it. I was out at the site last week. Plenty of activity. But the good news is the site has been a safe site for the most part, and most of our efforts associated with the periphery, MWBE, and other efforts are paying off. And lastly, just on the recruitment side, we have 25 open recruitments for 47 open positions. That still includes the summer interns. Once they come across the threshold of DASNY, those numbers will drop. We continue to include them in the count, even though they are hired in. And lastly, PM Web, our phase 2 implementation team created a May 4th live date. And we did, in fact, go live on May 4th. This functionality is associated mostly with the design side of our projects. We're integrating with Bluebeam through PM Web. We also have retired a couple of legacy systems, the DASNY Design Review System and our Dr. Check system, and we'll be employing more native PM Web functionality to accomplish those tasks. And that completes my report.
Feel I should clap.
You know, Steve, I actually went out to the, as you know, to the modular housing conference last month. And, you know, it's interesting. I mean, it's clearly no, you know, magic bullet, but it does present some opportunities, I think. And the chair and I spoke briefly before for like a large site dormitory with a lot of vacant space where these modules can be stored and put up quickly. And if the module itself is sort of very repetitive, it might be interesting just to sort of do a one or two projects just to see how it functions, because it does present some speed opportunities. Financially, maybe a little bit better, but I'm not sure it's the it's so much of savings. But it isn't the easiest thing to do, but it does present something. So I just mentioned that for you.
Especially when the future of higher education is kind of in flux right now because of everything from AI to people re-examining the cost of higher education. Similarly, residential dorms are having that same analysis. Maybe it gives people more flexibility. Maybe not.
It does. I mean, again, it's probably very project specific, but I'm sure there's a couple of projects out there that would benefit from that type of construction.
Yeah, Jerry and I were talking about how, particularly upstate where there's a shorter build season and time to get in and getting closed is like precious. That might be a useful thing, to take some of the uncertainty out of it. I mean, the first one,
Yeah, two points to the modular discussion. So DASNY did a project for Oasis on Ward's Island, which was really a modular build. Annette Duran is down there in the New York City office if you want to talk to her about how that went. They actually constructed the modules, the entire building off-site at the modular plant to make sure everything fit together. One by one, they shipped them over the GW Bridge into New York City and reconstructed. So we do have some experience there. And the builder for the Cortland project, Heber Brewer, constructed a modular dorm for SUNY College of Forestry out in Syracuse, completely modular. We got to tour it, and yeah, I mean, you nailed it, Jerry. If you're doing repetitive work like a dorm room, and you can just build them off site, bring them to the site, connect them up. There's a lot of MEP stuff you need to do, but it's fantastic, right? I mean, quality control, you don't have to worry about weather. There's a lot of benefits. Literally, the contractor needs to put the foundation in, and then you just start stacking these blocks.
There's there was more coordination than I thought there would be, but
I think that
Well,
probably
they work.
goes away with time. Part of it is like the first one, you probably won't see the efficiency that you dream of.
they do a lot of it out. They do a lot of like out west.
Yeah.
They do a lot of hotels.
Yep.
Which is sort of similar to a dorm in some ways.
Stack.
The only other thing, Steve, before you leave, how was the your CM program work? Your software program, not Procore, whatever we have.
PM.
Working okay?
I'm a big fan of it.
Maybe the team.
Okay.
You only like your system when it's time to leave and go to another one. So, but I think, there's always growing pains with an implementation. We're far beyond that. I mean, we implemented this thing a couple of years ago. 15 or 1,600 projects are in the system now. And we've moved on to a phase 2, soon to be a phase 3. So, the technology has come a long way since contract manager, Primavera's contract manager. So
Yeah, Primavera, yeah.
I think it's been a win. Our third parties enjoy electronic payments and electronic change orders. And, we used to walk around with big stacks of paper, asking somebody to sign something here. We don't do that anymore. So
yeah,
from an efficiency standpoint, it's been a win. And the staff will, they'll warm up to it.
Thank you. Thanks again, Steve.
All right, any other business? So we have a lunch and learn coming up with Liz, Janice, and me. So if you want to lunch or learn, or lunch and learn, stick around with the staff. The next board meeting is June 24th. The July meeting has a slight change to accommodate schedules, to be held on July 8th, not the previously scheduled July 15th. The audit committee will also meet on July 8th. That is all I have. If nobody has anything else, could we get a motion to adjourn, sorry.
So moved.
We will approve and adjourn. We will approve the adjournment. Okay. All right. I assume there's nobody opposed and nobody abstaining, so we are adjourned. Thank you very much. Nancy, you can turn us off.
Thank you.